Perfect. Thanks, Ron. Once again, my name is Shyam Patel. I'm an AI architect over here at Microsoft. And first of all, I would like to take the opportunity to thank all the prior presenters. It was a great content, mostly around security. So we're going to take a little bit, pivot from all the security conversations, and I'm going to be presenting over here, giving an overview of the new offerings actually that we are pitching, which is Azure AI Foundry platform for developing AI applications and agents. So the way I'm going to structure my content is I'm going to first give you an overview of the thought process in terms of the trends and some statistics and some feedback that we gathered from developer community and the company around building AI to see how we can incorporate those feedback back into a really good platform that people can use, and then kind of delve into the capabilities of AI Foundry, and then wrap it up with some of the success stories of customers who have been using it. And then leave you guys with some content around how to get started if at all you're interested in using that. So with that, let me just get into a presentation mode. So future work with AI in terms of the trends that we collected from the market. So as you guys already know, the AI is here. I mean, people are actually actively developing, AI applications, and what's making it much more interesting is the enhancements that we have seen lately around natural language processing as well as visual understanding, which is kind of like accelerating the wave of AI. And we have seen how it is redefining enterprises in terms of uh, just traditional cost centers to mostly strategic differentiators that we are seeing. Some of the trends that we gathered from the market, what we are observing is 93% of organizations are experimenting with multi-models. So as you guys know, about 6 months or maybe a year ago, there were very few models in the market, mostly around OpenAI. But now you see lots of other third-party providers Facebook with Llama models, Mistral, Cohere. Um, all those are coming up with very, very rich models, which gives organizations a choice in terms of, really narrowing down a model that works for their use case in terms of performance, cost, that they're evaluating, as well as it's also giving them an opportunity to not lock into, a very specific model. So that's a trend that we have been seeing. What we have been also seeing is 75% of responsible AI user reported improvement in customer experience and trust, so which is very, very good, because what they're seeing is if they build the AI application with security and responsible AI principles in mind, the experience of those AI applications is much more well received. Uh, what we're also seeing is 50% of enterprise users using Gen AI will launch AI agentic applications in by 2027. So there is a huge new wave of agentic AI been observed, and which is where now AI is going from mostly like a co-pilot, which is, hey, how can I help recommend something, from, hey, can I take an automated action on behalf of you? So that's where we are seeing the trend moving. Um, but we're also seeing, another trend where 30% of fewer Gen AI experiments are moving to production, and that's mostly around tooling, and that's where AI Foundry comes in, where we are actually collecting all the feedback to make it easy for developer community to build Gen AI applications, which is production ready from get-go. So as you can see from the stats, almost around 36% are already using three or more models. We are also seeing some around 20 to 30% of the companies using experimenting with actually 4 to 5 different models. And this is also very, very essential when it comes to making sure that you are evaluating the right model for your use case. Uh, so with that, what does the future look like, right? So we are going to see about 1 billion new applications been built in the next 24 to 36 months. This is mostly around infusing AI, either in new applications or enhancing existing applications. Uh, 70% of organizations are going to accelerate modernizing their app by some way of infusing AI within those applications. And we are going to see 90% of developer community use some sort of AI tool set on a day-to-day basis. So with that, uh, like a type of stats, we do see a need for a very robust platform, which enables those developers to seamlessly work with AI and all the tool chain that comes along with it. Um, but we also wanted to basically paint the real the real picture. So what we are also observing is at 14%, there's about only 14% conversion rate. So that means like, people who are experimenting with Gen AI and mostly AI applications, only about 14% is going to production. So there is a huge gap to be addressed over there. Uh, but the good thing is around 74% of organizations are somewhat in the planning or experimental stage. So what are the factors which are contributing to the AI applications not actually making it all the way to production? Is what we see is the organization, like around 40 to 41%, they lack developer skill sets and tools. We see 38% excessive cost, which is where they're not basically able to figure out the ROI with with respect to what the value the AI can add to their existing applications. Um, 36% are actually seeing issues around infrastructure performance and availability, which is fair because most of the companies nowadays only rely on one big dog who is providing the chips and the infrastructure to power those big models. Um, and then 35% poor IT and business coordination. So this is where organizations are still figuring out, like uh, which applications and business processes they want to prioritize, where they see a need for AI to add real value. So those are the things that are impacting this slow moving to production issues. And then also on top of that, if you see like in the market, there's so much um, stuff been produced by so many different companies, and it could be overwhelming for a lot of developers to make sure that, okay, which one I should pick and choose and use. And to make all of this also available for seamless experimentation is also another challenge. Uh, So we already covered this, like we've seen 80% of early AI projects fail to meet expectation due to complexity. So complexity is also becoming a challenge in terms of evaluating where to infuse AI. What we're going to see from today to tomorrow is more of a intelligent app kind of a wave. Like, we're going to see applications which were not really adding value to adding, like really good ROI. We're going to see more collaborative applications which were stuck with static data to more of like collaborative network of data, right? We're going to see applications which were having static user experiences to more of an adaptive and dynamic experiences. So that's what the trend we are going to see in the future. Once again, that uh, fits into the segue of, like, what are we going to see from current to the next wave of applications. I'm going to move fast given the time because I have lots of slides to cover. So we talked about difficulties in building Gen AI applications. So if you see, the first one was selecting and customizing and picking the right model, right? And then on top of that, you have this complex processes that you're evaluating to see where can you infuse AI, and that is also becoming a big challenge. Uh, and then on top of that, we are also seeing already, security issues with respect to new attacks using prompt injections and things like that, right? Which has to be factored into how you go about building and designing your applications. And then obviously there was a tooling issue where observability and governance around things that you build in when you deploy in production was becoming a challenge. So with that, um, if you have to summarize what's slowing down is mostly just getting started for most of the organization. Like where do I get started with evaluating our internal processes to see where can I infuse AI. The another one was around development challenges. And then also challenges around how can I take the context that I have, which is our data, to feed into my Gen AI model. So this is where complexities around building RAG applications were coming, right? And then also like, okay, how am I going to evaluate my applications, whether it's actually doing the right thing? So when it comes to Gen AI applications, evaluating the output that's been produced, that was becoming a challenge. So with all of this, and then on top of that, studying like what our developers actually are looking for in terms of tooling, we went about designing the AI Foundry platform. So just to go over what developers are actually looking is to learn how to select the right tools and models for their use case. So this is where they are actually looking a very easy way. How can I pick and choose different models and very quickly experiment with it and see and have a feel for it, right? So that's one of the aspects that we're looking for in terms of the tooling. Then obviously an easy UI and an SDK to work with. Different orchestration frameworks that can handle very from a simple complex flows to much more complex. So from a simple workflows to much more complex workflow, how can they actually have a platform that enables to do that? Um, and with that, developers were also, so when you look at some of the trends that we also observed when it comes to studying developers and what they're looking at is what we observed is if you allow the developers to easily understand their code base, and if you give the tool chain around that, we saw 42% productivity improvement in developers. Um, we also saw 20% faster innovation when developers are basically working with intuitive tool sets. And then we saw about 50% less technical debt when they're able to get all the questions answered. So this is some of the stats that we actually collected to see what can we do differently with some of the tooling that we can offer. Um, When it comes to Gen AI ROI, what we have observed so far, and this applies to the Gen AI applications which have been really built well, we have seen about 10x rate of return on a dollar invested, which is pretty significant. And that's what is actually creating this whole wave of a lot of organizations trying to take advantage of infusing AI within their applications. And then also we have observed that there's about an 8-month development life cycle for taking a Gen AI use case from concept to production and starting to realize value. So with that, I will give you a little bit overview of what Azure AI Foundry platform is made up of. how you can go about using it for building and designing your customized AI applications and agents. So at a very high level, it's well integrated with all of the tool chains and IDs that we offer, like the Copilot Studio, the Visual Studio, VS Code, GitHub, and then your Azure AI Foundry. But then it offers you a breadth of model catalog, with foundation models, open source model, task models, and even industry specific models. There are models around, healthcare, specifically like some of the finance models. Uh, so a very robust and rich model catalog that's been offered. And then on top of that, a suite of AI services that you can use. Obviously, the Azure OpenAI services, Azure AI services, which is a cognitive suite of services, along with Azure AI Search, and then our traditional machine learning services. And the beauty that we added in the platform was around observability, which was lacking before. So now in the same platform, you can build, robust evaluations. You can do customization with fine tuning any of this model if you wanted to do. And then we have governance and security built in, along with monitoring capabilities. So that's the high level stack of what an AI Foundry platform offers today. Um, so I wanted to give you a little bit insight, like what helped us actually build this really powerful platform is that we have dogfooded our building of internal like Copilot, like our 365 Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, Security Copilot. They're all built on top of AI Foundry, so which helped us actually refine this platform to what it is right now. Just to give you, an idea about what real world product are been built on top of AI Foundry. So with that, I wanted to take a little bit a deeper segue into just going and looking at our agent ecosystem. So as you know, there's a huge wave of AI agents going around. So when you look at AI Foundry, obviously we looked at the rich model catalog that we offer with small language models, large language models, and some very, very customized model built by our partners. But on top of that, it offers a very rich, comprehensive tool chain that includes all of Microsoft offerings as well as the 3P offerings from our partners. And then on top of that, we offer a lot of our production, like performance management suite, like Azure Monitor and all the monitoring capability, and the security capability with respect to Azure AI content safety, Microsoft Defender, and even some of the third-party security capabilities. So that's what the agentic ecosystem looks like in the Azure AI Foundry. Uh, so when it comes to streamlined development in Azure AI Foundry, it's as simple as you start with your AI project, which offers you, a platform of all the connected services and data that you can use. So you can have one AI project, but then you can have a common suite of connected services and data that you can actually play around with within that project. So that's the beauty of how the structure. So you have an AI hub. An AI hub could be tied to your organization's, like say, department which is building, which is having multiple applications. And let's say if they wanted to experiment with different applications, they can create different projects. But then they can actually leverage common inferencing APIs tied to all of those projects. And then along with that, they can actually leverage the agentic tool chain to quickly, enhance their applications and unlock the potential of agents. And then very seamlessly deploy those applications and run it in production using templates. Uh, just to share, some of the success stories, like 60K actually companies are using AI Foundry as of today, and it's growing. Um, Here are some of the high-level use cases where we have seen most of the customers actually leveraging Foundry. Just to call out some, like building, obviously, building your own agent is a number one use case that we have seen people actually experimenting with it lately. And then also on top of that, like going into more of a machine learning. Traditional machine learning use cases like improve forecasting, things like that. Some of the use cases called out over here are pretty common, like chat with your data. We have seen that commonly used, but people are moving towards more and more of building agents. Uh, Also, we have kept in mind accessibility in terms of how we have designed the platform. So we have collected feedback from developers with all abilities to thrive. So accessibility is inbuilt into the platform um, as of today. So yeah, I mean, like this is well known. So Microsoft's developer and productivity tool sets. So I'll skip on that. So when it comes to innovation with Gen AI, people are looking for flexibility. That's another thing that we have observed. And what we have seen is like when there is limited flexibility, they're reluctant to actually, use a very uh, like lock into a specific platform for them to develop the Gen AI application. This is where, like, we excel well, where we allow them to design their AI applications using the breadth of models that we offer. So, so the beauty of AI Foundry is you can come in, you can discover a model which is very specific to your use case, and then you can build your industry specific applications, or even you can actually customize any of our models and then deploy them as a serverless endpoint. And as you can see, here is the breadth of models that we offer through AI Foundry, which is already well known for most of you guys. Um, so with that, so here is also another feature.
One other thing I just want to point out, it's interesting with Microsoft strategy here is a lot of flexibility. One of the options out there for many organizations is, well, I guess you can sign up directly with one of these platforms. Like for instance, a couple of years ago, people set up individual ChatGPT accounts, and then that rapidly made its way to the environment. One of the things I recommend, and it ties in very nicely with the Foundry story, is encouraging everyone to take advantage of running all their Gen AI, not in standalone apps with each individual provider, but definitely using the Microsoft Marketplace, the Azure framework for doing that. It's critically important. You get all the benefits of the Azure administrative console. You get better security, it's better performance, your team is used to it, and you can ensure that you don't have any unintended consequences in how your application is deployed. Plus, there's a little more flexibility. So if you do decide to change the underlying model, you can still use the same platform, and it makes it much easier to try and retrain a different model if you think it's better for your particular use case. I'll turn it back to you, but just I wanted to interject that because I hear that a lot based on presentations at past Angelbeats, why the Foundry approach of being very comprehensive has been so well received.
Yeah, thank you, Ron, for calling that out. That is precisely, the point that they made in the Foundry to enable the breadth of different model selections. And let me Did I lose my presentation or my presentation is still going on?
Well, now we just lost it, but it was right up there. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Right there. Can you
Yeah,
guys see
yeah.
it?
Select your best models with support.
Oh, okay. Is it
Looks good to me. And
okay? Is it going or okay? Just wanted to make sure.
yes, we're all good.
Okay. Yeah. So this is thanks, Ron. That was a good segue. So as Ron actually said, the Foundry allows you to pick a right model for your use case, and you can actually look at all the benchmarking stats, or you can even do your own benchmarking and do a very quick evaluation yourself, which allows you to experiment with a lot of different models out there. Um, and so, in the interest of time, I'm going to move along fast. What we are hearing from customers is like, really good story around how they have actually leveraged. I'm not going to read most of the content over here, but the customers are really, really happy. And then we are also incorporating some of the early feedback that we are getting from our customers. But I wanted to actually spend a little bit more time uh, just to go over the very final slide. So when it comes to Foundry, like or even designing your Gen AI applications, like define your scope and requirement, collect your data, and then obviously when you come to the Foundry, build, train, and evaluate your model. Review and approve apps for production, deploy and monitor. All of these capabilities are inbuilt right there. So it allows you to actually, just have a very seamless app development experience within the platform. Also, one more thing when it comes to your data privacy that I wanted to call out is your data is your data. So your data is not used or to train or enrich any of the foundation models that we offer. uh, your data is already protected within our ecosystem, and our customer copyright commitments, you can read about them, is out there as well. So in a nutshell, your data is secured in our platform. So when you're using AI Foundry, let's say if you're experimenting with it, you upload your data to very quickly experiment using a chat playground. It's all well protected. None of those data is actually used to train or do anything within our foundation models that we offer. Uh, so with that, I'm going to leave the very final slide. Here are some of the links. You can check out AI Foundry, the SDK, some of the documentation. And then we also have some learning courses out there as part of the last link. So with that, I will wrap it up. Thank you. Ron, back to you.